This is a jam-packed show. There's a ton to talk about right now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it in with just one episode, but let me start with Gage Workman and Matt Shaw going to Japan. And Shaw, we weren't sure what was going to happen. We're going to get into that. The Cubs, we talked about this yesterday, reportedly looking at two free agent arms. We don't want the old Cardinals. Come on now. Kyle Tucker, according to The Athletic, is going to demand a ton of cash. Will the Cubs be able to pony up? And how about Hollywood Pete? Getting all the love that we have been saying since the beginning, 2 years ago, that he deserved. Still's got to go out there and perform in regular season games, but it is really cool that he's starting to kind of look the way that we saw him look when he was in the minor league. So all that right here on the Cubs Baseball channel. Great to see you guys today. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. I say it every day because I want you guys to do that. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, comment in the comment section. I asked you yesterday. I'm going to ask you guys again today. We're going to put the Cubs Baseball channel logo on some gear or whatever. You tell me what you guys want, because then I'm going to order it and then I'm going to give it away to you. Yeah, because that's the kind of guy I am. Go Cubs. All right, guys, Mick Gillespie, Cubs Baseball channel. I've been chasing these Cubs since 1984, maybe even before that. The Rhino, Sarge, Bobby Dernier, Jody Davis, who's one of our good friends, Rick Sutcliffe days, and we're still here. I don't know how that happened, but I was known as the Cubs guy back in high school because I wore all the Cubs gear. And now I'm talking to you guys. And I've been working with the Cubs and their organization since 2007. So it's hard when you work for a team. It'd be a lot easier if you weren't a fan of the team. Yeah, I'm both. So count me in. All right, at Broadcaster Mick, great to hear from you guys. And honestly, it's always just an honor every day to get to talk to you guys about our favorite team. All right, let's start with this. First off, Gage Workman is in, right? He's going to Japan and was just absolutely elated when they let him know, hey, you're going. Now, we talked about this a couple of days ago. The math worked for him, right? For Workman. It worked for him. Because if they didn't send him, then he'd have to go back to the Tigers. And the Cubs kind of have him as, I'm guessing they're penciling him in as a backup policy right now for Matt Shaw, or, maybe just a, kind of a, back and forth guy between he and Shaw. But big dude, swings a good bat, plays some defense, can play short and third. And he's someone that the Cubs need. Well, I don't know if he's going to make the team when they come back, what that's going to look like. But if it's me, he's on. And congratulations to him. Now, the other thing was that Craig Counsell talked yesterday, and he basically said, hey, Matt Shaw's going to Japan. So that starts to you got 35 guys for 31 spots. There's a taxi squad, as you guys know, and you can only play 26, but the guys that get to go, get to go. So, Workman may go and not play, but at least he's going to get to go before the Cubs have to start making some decisions on this roster. I mean, do you keep two utility guys? Is Birdie going to stay? Bruhan going to stay? To me, I think you need one utility guy. I don't need a whole team of utility guys. But you take a risk with these young dudes. What are they going to do? How are they going to handle it? I think if Matt Shaw's going to Japan, then the Cubs feel like he's ready to be their third baseman, and he's the guy that they have penciled in to play third base. So congratulations to both guys. And, honestly, I'm really, really excited for Shaw. He's one of my favorite guys that's been drafted and come up through the Cubs system over the last few years. I mean, he knows the game of baseball. He's a smart guy. He's a very good hitter. And the other thing, and I've told you guys this on this channel a bunch, is what's going to save him is that it's not just the hitting. It's that he's not going to swing at pitches that aren't strikes. And I think that's going to benefit the Cubs. That's going to benefit him so much because he knows the strike zone and he's going. So I'm guessing that the lineup that we saw yesterday is the lineup that kind of resembles what we're going to see when the Cubs play in their first game against the Dodgers. And so it was Ian Happen left, Seiya Suzuki, DH second, Kyle Tucker, right field third, Michael Busch at first base fourth, Dansby Swanson, shortstop fifth. So they feel like he's going to be healthy this year. Dansby is the linchpin to this team. I've said it many, many times. They're paying him $177 million to be the leader of the team, to be the best player, one of them. Moving him up to 5 is a good sign. They feel like he's ready. Matt Shaw, third base 6. Hollywood Pete Crow-Armstrong in center field 7th. Now, I feel like eventually he's going to slide up to the number 1 or the number 2 spot in the lineup when he figures it out. Carson Kelly catching 8th, and then John Birdie at second base is 9th. Now, Seiya Suzuki would start. Obviously pitchers don't hit anymore in baseball. I miss those days, but still not a lineup that scares you, okay? I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, it'll be great to have Nico Horner back, and Nico is going to be rehabbing along with Javier Assad while the Cubs are in Japan. And we need Nico back at second base. No offense to John Birdie, but Nico Horner is he is a Gold Glove second baseman. The guy gets on base a ton. He's one of those guys that squares up the ball so much. So, and the Dodgers are going to be dealing with some of the same stuff. But I don't look at this lineup and think, okay, well, this isn't the 2016 Cubs lineup here. But at the same time, you love Tucker in right field. You love Seiya Suzuki in there. And, I think this could be one of those seasons for Pete Crow-Armstrong where he really breaks out. And a lot of people are starting to see that. And that's kind of the funny thing to me, because you remember 2 years ago on the channel, I kept saying this guy, he's a special talent. And then he goes like 0 for 14. I thought David Ross didn't do a good job of putting him in positions to succeed. And honestly, I've really felt like one of the things I love about Craig Counsell is that he does put these young guys in position to be successful. And then at the same time, he never puts pressure on, like, the expectations. He's always like, well, what if they do this or they do that? Hollywood Pete is one of those players that could absolutely break out this year. And I don't know that I would say that he's the best player I've ever seen, but I'll tell you what, he's one of the most exciting players I've ever seen. In this spring, going into yesterday's action, the guy was hitting .520 with 10 runs batted in. I mean, think about that, man. 3 home runs. Not too shabby, right? But then John Heyman of the New York Post wrote a story talking about Quentin Berry, he's got to be one of Craig Counsell's right-hand man. I mean, he came over from the Brewers, and now he's the third base coach. But he's saying, like, hey, he's one of the best players I've ever seen. This is his quote. He's putting on a show. He can run. He's strong. He's stealing bases. He's doing it all. Quentin, I saw it too. I remember telling Doug Senzo that it's like he has X-ray vision. Ask Doug. Like, it's like he can see the ball and what it's going to do before it does it, anticipates, and runs. You guys have talked about this before. I don't know if I'll ever be at a game where a guy battles for 15 pitches and hits the 16th pitch out for a grand slam. I saw him score on a double play attempt from second base with the bases loaded in a game. I've seen him score a ton from first base in games. He is really electrifying. He plays like Javi Baez. He's just faster. And he's a special player. So, Quentin, you might take some heat for saying that, but I'm with you, man. I really felt like of all the trades that the Cubs made at the deadline, they traded Baez to the Mets, and they got Hollywood Pete. And I think that one day the Mets are going to look back and be like, probably not the best deal we could have made. So anyway, he's going to Japan too, and hopefully he puts on a show against the Dodgers and leads the Cubs to a victory. All right, Tim Britton of The Athletic says that Kyle Tucker, Cubs traded not 1, but 2 really good players to get him, right? Cam Smith, their first-round pick from last year, third baseman. Isaac Paredes, the all-star that they traded. And you look at the guys that they traded for him. And all of a sudden you're going, Yeah, and then we had to give up Cody Bellinger for nothing. Cody Petit, come on, man. It was a sell-off. This entire offseason to me has felt like desperation for this front office to save their jobs. And look, I would do the same exact thing. And if we win, got no problem with it for Kyle Tucker. And guess what your reward is? At the end of the year, you better be ready to dole out $350 million to keep him. And if he performs at Wrigley like the potential that he has to do, I hope they pay him. But he's going to be the most sought-after free agent if he comes into to Wrigley Field this year and does what he is capable of doing. And that's the business. But the Cubs have the Cubs are a big market team. And I feel like, and I've said this before, that the front office is holding back on the wallet because of some of the deals that Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer have made. And if Dansby Swanson has a good year, it's going to make it a lot easier to sign this guy. I'm just going to throw that out there right off the bat. And if the Cubs win this year, the front office is going to stay, and I'm sure they're going to want to sign him. So that's what the Cubs need. If this turns into another one of these 83 and 79 seasons where the Cubs don't make the playoffs, everybody's gone. And who knows what they'll do with Tucker. Anyway, love you guys hanging out here on the Cubs Baseball Channel. Do it every single day. Try to throw a new show out for you in the morning. You know, some of you guys are drinking coffee, talking Cubs with me. Some of you guys watch during the day. But we're getting closer and closer to real baseball. And it's going to be so exciting. And I can't wait. So whether I'm in the home studio or here at this Wrigley Field bar, thank you for being here. Like and subscribe, thumbs up. And again, get in the comment section. If I put the Cubs logo, the Cubs Baseball Channel logo, my logo, on some swag, and I give it to you guys, what do you want? You want koozies? I know a lot of you guys like to drink beer or like a cold glass. You want hats? You got to wear it. You want T-shirts? Tell me what you want because I'm about to put an order in, and then we're going to start giving it away on the channel. But thank you guys again for being part of the channel. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. This is the most exciting time of the year because we're closing in on opening day. Go Cubs.